Wonder Woman is the newest film in the DC Extended Universe, and admittedly I was quite cautious about this film because the trailers didn't really blow me away that much and the last two DC films disappointed me a lot, so Wonder Woman was going to tip the scale either way as far as the DC Universe is concerned. So to cut to the chase, is Wonder Woman good? No. It's really good. This film is the biggest sigh of relief of the year so far for me. I just wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. Warner Brothers and DC listened to all the complaints people had with BVS and Suicide Squad and they corrected them in Wonder Woman. Because first of all, the film is not a sloppy, incoherent mess. It's got a relatively simple story that's quite easy to follow. And the film is far more brighter, far more earnest and far more optimistic than BVS and Suicide Squad combined. The thing that made this film really good for me was the character of Wonder Woman herself. I said a second ago the film's more earnest and more optimistic. Well, that's all to do with Wonder Woman. That's exactly what her character is. She is so awesome because she just constantly wants to do the right thing and do good all the time. Like when she and Steve Trevor go to the outside world, she's just constantly seeing things like when they're in the battlefield and she just sees like destruction and death and she wants to go and help these people, but they can't because they have to stay on their quest. It just made her so likeable and she's the best thing about this film, I think. And Gal Gadot as the character was one of my fears going into the film. I wasn't sure if she could carry an entire film by herself, but she really can and she really does. Minus a couple of times where her line delivery wasn't that great, she was actually quite charismatic in the role and she brings all the likability to the character. And she was really good in the action scenes as well, which is a big help when you're playing Wonder Woman. I also really like the relationship between her and Steve Trevor. Steve Trevor is the first man that Diana has ever met, so she's fascinated by the prospect of men and how they work, and when she goes to the outside world with Steve Trevor, she's interacting with things to an embarrassing degree for Steve Trevor anyway. And that made for some pretty good comedy. It's quite a funny film at times actually. I love the fact that this film takes place in World War I because Warner Brothers and DC, they could have easily had this film take place in whatever war is currently going on right now to try and make it socially relevant and have all these forced tie-ins and references to Justice League and whatnot, but instead they did what Marvel did with Captain America the First Avenger and took one of the main flagship characters and took him back in time into a prominent war and told the story there. And I love the World War I setting and aesthetics, like the costumes and the scenery, it all looks great. And I love seeing Wonder Woman on the battlefield in World War I kicking ass. Picture Battlefield 1 but with Wonder Woman. That's pretty much the action in this film and it's awesome. And this film taking place in World War I, it allows it to be its own film and not have the strain of trying to set up a cinematic universe and have all these references and tie-ins. It just focuses on being its own good film and it does that very well. I also like the villain in the film, Ares the God of War, and I like the fact how they made him kind of like a mastermind behind World War I because he's the God of War. I just like that little detail. Overall, I really enjoyed Wonder Woman. I don't think it's quite a perfect film. There were some pacing issues in the second act and it starts off kind of cliche. It shows like young Diana and her mother, the Queen of the Amazonians. It's like, no, you can't be a warrior, you need to be protected. But the negatives of this film were outshined by the really likeable protagonist, the World War I setting, the action sequences, the good villain. Combine all these things and you've got what I believe to be the best film in the DC Extended Universe so far. I'm going to give Wonder Woman a 4 out of 5. Thank God this film's good and thank God the critics like this film as well because everyone can just now chill out, watch the film and we can all just enjoy it together and we can all be friends. Thanks very much for watching the video as always guys. Let me know in the comments below what did you think of Wonder Woman and what is your favourite film of the DCEU so far. Follow me on all my social media links and if you want to see more of my stuff click on one of these and I'll see you all in the next video.